sheriff take him in. We'll get pictures of the jail. She told me to tell you, you're the one that texted me.
It's 5:30. Board of County Commissioners regular meeting, October 5th, 2023, 5:30 p.m. Ernest Lee McGahey, Government Building, first floor. Please turn your cell phone to vibrate, silence, or the off setting. The Board of County Commissioners allows any person to speak regarding the item on the agenda. The speaker is limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise determined by the chairman to allow for sufficient time for all speakers. Speakers shall refrain from abusive or profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, protests, or other conduct which interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting. Upon completion of public comment period, discussion is limited to the board members only, and questions raised by the board, no others. Tonight, we have the invocation by Commissioner Begich. Commissioner Begich.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please stand and join me for a moment of silence, and then after that, remain standing, please, while we do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me in observing a moment of silence. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
I pledge
Mr. Bender?
allegiance
To the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner Begich, and thank you, Commissioner Bender. Are there any items to be added to the agenda?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Kohler. No, sir. Thank you, Commissioner Bender.
No, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Berry. Director Marino.
No, sir.
Thank you so much. The chair will entertain a motion for the adoption of the
So
agenda.
moved.
Second.
Please vote by hand. That passes 5 unanimous. Thank you so much. Commissioner Form, Commissioner Begich.
Yes, sir. Just one thing I want to thank Tim Day for taking time out of his schedule. I want to thank Jesse Casey, who works in my office as the field representative, and I want to thank the sheriff and his staff. We had the opportunity to have a very good, meaningful, deep conversation on some issues that we've had related to trespassing on private property and some illegal activities happening in roadways, and we're trying to get a handle on it for safety and for some businesses in District 1, the Bellevue area, and we just appreciate everyone's time, especially Tim, working toward working closely with the Code Enforcement Department along with the Sheriff's Office to address some of these lingering issues. So just wanted to thank everyone for their time on that. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'm kind of in awe. I'm seeing these yellow shirts walking in. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm about to get voted out. I don't know. Wow. Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Kohler.
I didn't think you were old enough to be a silver senior there, Mr. Chairman. But
Well, it's at Brownville. It's your district too.
all right, I got a couple things I wanted to just say in appreciation and then a comment. Today, the Pensacola-Perdido Bay Estuary was out at Lexington Terrace Park, and they were picking up trash. And we have a lot of groups that do this. So, between People Against Trash, Ocean Hour, Black Sheep Automotive that does it every Friday for us. We also, this weekend, will have a BioChico Association will be doing the Lakewood Park. And I appreciate what they're doing. It's an all-hands-on-deck effort. We got a lot of litter around here that people are complaining about, and the citizens are kind of taking it in their own hands. And I appreciate that, but from the county standpoint, we get it and we're working at it, so I just want you to know. October's Cancer Month from the American Cancer Society, and this is kind of personal to me because my mother-in-law died of cancer, and my wife's a cancer survivor, and I just think cancer screening is so important. Being a nurse, I worked on oncology for 2 years, and a lot of people ended up dying that just didn't do their screening. So if you're out there and you need, don't think you need colorectal screening or breast cancer screening or PSA, please go do it. It's vital. Can't tell you how much important it is. Hey, on Navy Days, Senator Broxton's putting together a cadre of people throughout the county. And we're basically going to have Navy Days in Pensacola on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So for all the military groups and all the people that just are veterans and love the service, please put that on your schedule. We're going to have a couple bands. Hopefully we'll get one on the base, one down at Maritime Park, but there'll be a lot going on, and that's starting to come together. And for my Marine friends, I know you want me to, do the plug for Ryan Blackwell. I'll do that. Ryan Blackwell, if you didn't know, he was shot up 6 times in the attack on NAS Pensacola in December. I happened to be an XO out on the base that day. He's a hero. There will be a race out on the beach on the 28th. Please come out. It goes to Gulf Coast Kids. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Kohler. Certainly appreciate that, and you have our support. Commissioner Bender.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I was just going to say, got to go to public safety on Friday where Eric and emergency management team and others did breakfast for public safety. So I appreciate them doing that. It was a great opportunity to catch up and get all of our people fed. I can't remember the last time we met, but I think we did talk about the great job that they did on the Baptist transfer. You know, even adjusting some of it on the fly to have a better route, to have less impact on the community, and I think everyone is very pleased on how that worked out. So, great job for all of them going in. I think finally, Happy New Year a couple days in for everyone, as Amy Lavoie would always say, with the new fiscal year. It started October 1. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioner Bender. Commissioner Berry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to congratulate the Gilmores, Ronnie and Debbie, and their son Jacob and his wife Carla for being the Farm Family of the Year, presented by Escambia Farm Bureau last Thursday evening. And there was some, some big news. We've got a ribbon cutting in a couple of weeks at Astor Brosnahan. There's the multi-purpose building, including the locker room and the meeting rooms. That was part of the agreement that our board made with the SEC for hosting the tournament a few years back. We made the agreement that after, by the time the second tournament came around, that we would have this facility done. And you can count on Mike Rhodes and Adam Reed and as well as Wes Moreno to make sure that something gets done on the right timeline. We're hosting the tournament in 3 or 4 weeks, and the ribbon cutting is in about 2 weeks, but it's actually complete now. So we just had to work around the SEC administrator's schedule to do the ribbon cutting. So that's a great thing in District 5, and it's amazing the turnout, the turnout of Escambia County folks that came to the first year of it. And now, as you get a little bit of time and you get used to attending, we're even hoping we can have more of a turnout at the end of this year. And also want to mention the passing of a dear friend, Bill Bonifay from Cantonment. He's a little bit younger than my parents, but was always a dear friend to me. He was very active in the Inslee Masonic Lodge, very active in the Haggai Shrine, and from the time I was a very young person, Bill and his family were very, very friendly and very kind to me. There was a service this afternoon at Harper Morris for him, and thoughts and prayers go out to Bill's family, and he was a good man and was a good friend, and did a lot of good work in the Cantonment Gonzales community. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Berry, and certainly I knew Bill, and he was a great guy, and certainly it's not often that we kind of compliment our friends at the News Journal, but Molly, I want, being a young guy that loves his mother, we want to send our condolences, prayers to you losing your mother, and so anyone that takes care of their mother has all of my respect, so I certainly appreciate it. I am without words because I didn't know that these ladies in yellow shirts with my auntie and my mama and my godmama and Ms. Williams that raised me would be here tonight. I don't know why. I don't know if we're going to have a landfill or somebody's going to come up against me, Jill. I don't know why they're here. But certainly I want to thank Jordan Palmer and Claire Long for continuing to work. And so let me just start by thanking these ladies because I've had an awesome opportunity to serve, and did not know y'all were coming. This is a surprise. I hope it doesn't cost me money after
you're taking them all out to dinner.
Yeah,
after,
that's what I'm
Mr.
saying.
Chairman.
I don't have any discretionary money.
I mean, I don't know either, but I think we need to invite them up so they can talk.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we are going to absolutely let them talk because Claire's always late. Maybe she didn't get the food over to the center when they need it. But Robert, you mentioned Baptist Hospital transition. So when you look at these ladies, Ms. Eleanor, Ms. McCreary, Ms. Williams. These ladies sacrificed their lives 40, 50-plus years of working in a hospital to make sure that people were fed, to make sure that rooms were clean, and it was just an honor to be there with them last week as Baptist Hospital transitioned. And so they don't get the recognition that they deserve, Ms. Hayes, for the things that they did. And so for me, I want to recognize you ladies. I want to thank you ladies for the sacrifice. Many of you had your children. My mama will remind you that she had 7 children at Baptist Hospital, and anybody that has 7 children deserves more than a plaque. But it is an honor. I don't know why you ladies show, but it means a lot. And so to my colleagues, these ladies do yoga. They do community service. They work every single day at Brownsville, Commissioner Cole, in transforming Brownsville and working with young people. And I can publicly say it because I hadn't filed for office, but you know, we win at unprecedented numbers, Ms. Leola. We won at 78%, 81%, and 90+%. And we win these races without campaigning because of these ladies, because of their commitment to the community. So I love y'all. I don't know why y'all here. Y'all know I ain't got a lot of money today, but I'm gonna lean on my colleagues to give me some money to buy y'all dinner after it's over. But for me, it means a lot, Auntie Nicole, that these ladies are here. That means a lot to me. And so, Ms. Moyer, certainly we're gonna let 2 or 3 of y'all speak. Didn't know this, but I'm gonna do it. One of the things you get to do when you're the chairman, you can make the rules. And so we're certainly going to make the rules for these ladies tonight. But would you ladies please stand, and would y'all join me in giving these ladies who have sacrificed, who worked at Baptist, who have done great work, and have done so much great work. Ms. Vett, all of you, Auntie, Ms. Eleanor, raise your hand. 47 years. I mean, if you worked at Baptist past 20 years, raise your hand. Ms. McCrary, you worked past 20 years. Raise your hand. Ms. Williams, raise your hand. Thank you so much. Ladies, I appreciate what you are doing in our community. I thank you for your service. Couldn't be where I am without you. And so we know that as we transition from Baptist Hospital, many of you have affinities to that, and I assure you that I'm continuing to work on your behalf. And so it means a lot to me that y'all have shown up. And I tell y'all I fight like hell, and that's on television. My mother didn't like for me to curse, but I tell you, whether y'all hear or not, I continue to fight for our community, and I continue to fight for the next generation because of you. So I don't know, Ms. Moyer, Ms. Leola, 1 or 2 of y'all, if y'all want to come and have a word, you can. Everybody else can sit down. Don't act like you in church because we got to get out of here. I'm trying to have short meetings, and so whoever would like to come speak, you're welcome to speak.
You know, I'm a member of a Baptist church. I always have something to say. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Leola Snow, and I reside at 5644 Shelley Street, Bellevue. Tonight, we have the senior citizen, the Brownsville Silver Seniors. We are just here tonight to support District 3 Commissioner Luma May and to let you know how much we love you. And we are just so proud of the outstanding job that you are doing in Brownsville. Well, in your district, but primarily in Brownsville. We are just so happy to have the Brownsville Community Center there. And the job that you are doing, making Brownsville a cleaner, safer, and better place to live. Now, I just had a couple of things that I did jot down. In December 2022, we established the Brownsville Silver Senior Group. And a few other members are here tonight, okay? We started off with about 10 people, and I think we're up to about 45 now. We have women's. We're looking for men. No, none have joined yet. But
That's the problem with you old women. Y'all always looking for men.
we have ladies here from the Brownsville community, from Beulah, from the east side, west side, Bellevue, Inslee, Warrenton, and other areas of the city. Now, we meet at the Brownsville Community Center every Tuesday and Thursday from 11:30 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. And when we are there, we just shower each other with love, we share ideas, and we encourage and uplift each other. And since we have been established, we have participated in various events and activities. And just to name a few, we hosted a Valentine's Day celebration, a Mother's Day program. We participated in the Juneteenth program. We assisted Community Health of Northwest Florida in the distribution of clothes and shoes to our youth. And on September 23rd, we gather at Baptist, the Old Baptist Hospital, to share memories and to eat one last meal in the cafeteria. So we are on the move, and if there's anyone over 55 who is interested in becoming a part of our group, you are welcome. Commissioner May, we thank you for your vision. Thank you for your dedication and your commitment, not just to District 3, but to all of Escambia County. So please continue to do the job that you're doing for the city of Pensacola. We love you and we appreciate you.
Love you. Thank you, Ms. Leola. Ms. Leola, thank you for those kind words. You're never that kind on the campaign trail, so I appreciate it.
Hey, Lumen, I think you owe her dessert.
Oh, I ordered. Oh, no. You've never been in the strategy meetings with her. It's tough.
Yes, giving honor to the board. We give a special honor to you, Luma May, today, chairperson. We're here just to show our love to you today. That's why we're here. We know that you're completely surprised, and we wanted you to be, because we just wanted to show our love to you, and I'll let you know that we appreciate all the things that you do for us, for the community. We are Brownsville. I'm just about to have to repeat everything she just said, but I'm the chairperson, and I just want to say that we are Brownsville Silver Seniors of Pensacola, and we are a group from 55 and up. Is there anyone that knows someone that's home, that has retired and wants to have something to do, we are the ones to come to. Because we try to make the women's, get them involved in a lot of different things in the community. So we're there on a Tuesdays and Thursday from 11:30 to 1:30. Sometimes we be having such a great time, we're there to, I tell them sometimes you don't have to go home, but you gotta leave us, you gotta leave here. So anyway, we just wanted to show our appreciation, and we just wanted to come out and just show support to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moya. Ms. Moya, I appreciate it. When you got 50 people, and Claire, I hope that you're putting some more money in the budget for food and Gatorades and candy and things for those ladies because they need to eat. And so let me just personally thank you, ladies, and if my colleagues would just give me a moment, we're going to get out of the meeting early. But these ladies are important. First of all, my mother's important to me, and my aunt's important to me, and that they participate in this program. And I can just tell you, 90% of these ladies helped raise me, coming from a little poor boy from Morris Court. And these ladies, when we didn't have food at Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, they would bring food, Ms. Eleanor, over to the church. When we couldn't afford custodial supplies, they came over from that hospital and helped clean our church that my father built. And so it means a lot to me what we do. And I tell you what, I remember sitting in church, Auntie, with many of y'all, and y'all sang way too long and made me ready to go. And everybody knows I suffer with anxieties. I don't like long things. But if not robbery, I would ask the ladies to come up and let's take a picture together. And if my colleagues don't mind, I'd love to. Commissioner Berry, would you take over?
Yeah.
Bring them up.
Yeah. All the yellow shirts. All the yellow shirts.
You don't need that cane. no.
Y'all's
Wait, Claire, wait, one at a time.
Y'all's in.
Ladies on this side kind of like come in front, just so I can get everybody in photo.
Yeah, don't push her.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, just stay right there, Miss Lou. Look at the camera.
Cheese.
Thank you.
Take a picture.
Well, congratulations, Commissioner. You set a bar for a contested primary. Now you've set a bar for community support coming to support you with nothing on the agenda. So, congratulations, buddy. Doesn't get any better than that.
Well, I mean, I'm very surprised, Commissioner, but, and Stephen, we don't get a chance to talk, but these ladies never come ask for zoning changes. These ladies never ask for, outside agency funding. They never ask for anything. They do it because they want it to be better for their family, and so we appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, item 7, Wayne Brisky was unable to attend tonight, so he's asked that we reschedule that to the November meeting. So it's not something that requires a vote, but if scheduling, if agenda would just, kind of make that note and make that to the November meeting.
Thank you, thank you, Commissioner.
And I move the proclamations A through F.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote by raising your hand. That passes unanimous. Thank you so much. Before we move on to the doctrine of proclamations, I will say that the Independent News, Rick Allison did a great article on Baptist Hospital and the ladies of Brownsville. So I encourage you, if you don't know these ladies, many of their stories are shared in the Independent News. So grab one and read the story of these wonderful ladies who are different makers in our community. At this time, adopt the proclamation. Ms. Teresa Blanton on her selection as Employee of the Year. Yeah, of the month. Thanks, Wes. These ladies made me excited.
Chairman, Commissioners, my name is John Ballou, and I'm just honored to present this proclamation to one of our finest employees. Whereas Escambia County has established an Employee of the Month program to recognize one employee to represent various departments, and whereas Teresa Blanton, a licensed specialist in the Building Services Department, began her employment with our department on August the 27th, 2019, and is selected for Employee of the Month for October 2023 for standards of excellence that she displays in the performance of her duties. And whereas Mrs. Blanton maintains over 2,500 contractor licenses for Escambia County, which involves assisting applicants to obtain licensure, current license holders with renewal, report new applications to the Contractor Competency Board and the Board of Electrical Examiners, ensure the validity of license cards, train staff, and discuss licensing requirements with contractors. And whereas Mrs. Blanton's effectiveness and outstanding performance make her the perfect choice for special projects within her scope of work. The most recent being the condominium milestone inspections she created and submitted all notifications to condominium homeowner associations to inform them the new requirements established by the state legislator. And whereas working with outside agencies is an essential part of Ms. Blanton's duties, and she excels in ensuring neighboring jurisdictions are knowledgeable and consistent with the tasks related to contractors, as well as researching and collaborating with our partners to develop policies that are compliant with legislation requirements. And whereas Ms. Blanton's ability to create a positive experience from every every interaction with contractors and citizens while respectfully and professionally enforcing the pertinent statutory requirements. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Escambia County, Florida commends and congratulations to Mrs. Teresa Blanton in her selection as Employee of the Month for October 2023.
I want to thank you all. This is humbling. It took me by surprise, but I am very appreciative to all of you. Thank you.
Teresa, we're all surprised tonight. I'm still suffering with anxieties right now. So thank you for your service, Teresa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Come on, Jennifer, get everybody up there.
Come on, y'all. Come on.
I'm sure Tim Tober's not working.
I don't take any responsibility.
I see, exactly. I see Nicole, we got the whole team. Let's go. And Jennifer, thank you for all you do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Nick Simmons will present the next Adopt the Population Complaint Week of October 1st through October 27th as National 4-H Week. Nick.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Administrator. Really excited to be here this evening to celebrate and highlight one of the prides of our organization and our department at Extension Services, and that is the 4-H Youth Program. It is, if not one of the largest youth organizations in the country. Extension reaches all 67 counties here in Florida, and 4-H is very much an important part of that for youth development, not only in the, a lot of times is associated with livestock. That's very classic thought with 4-H, but it is so much more than that. These are young leaders that are going to be major contributors in our community as they move forward. And they certainly excel and represent this county with poise and professionalism. They're also very competitive. We just had a group compete in a national competition. I think we have one leaving next week. So we represent not only throughout the Panhandle and the state of Florida, but also nationally, and wear the Escambia County 4-H jacket with pride. So this week is National 4-H Week to recognize the program and what it means to these youth. So at this time, I would like to read the proclamation to our youth here. Whereas 4-H is America's largest youth development organization, having supported almost 6 million youth across the country thus far. And whereas 4-H has helped 5,604 youth in Escambia County to become confident, independent, resilient, and compassionate leaders. And whereas 4-H is delivered by Cooperative Extension, a community of more than 100 public universities across the nation that provides experiences where young people learn by undertaking hands-on projects in areas including health, science, agriculture, and citizenship. And whereas National 4-H Week showcases the incredible experiences that 4-H offers young people and highlights the remarkable 4-H youth in Escambia County who work each day to make a positive impact on those around them. And whereas 4-H's network of 600,000 volunteers and 3,500 professionals provide caring and supportive mentoring to all 4-H members, helping them grow into true leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Escambia County, Florida, do hereby proclaim the week of October 1st through October 7th, 2023 as National 4-H Week throughout Escambia County, and encourage all of our citizens to recognize 4-H for the significant impact they have made and continue to make by empowering youth with the skills they need to lead for a lifetime. Board of County Commissioners, Escambia County, Florida, Luman J. May, Chairman, District 3, Stephen Berry, Vice Chairman, District 5, Jeff Bergosh, District 1, Michael Kohler, District 2, and Robert Bender, District 4. So we come bearing gifts for you, commissioners and Mr. Chairman. One of the little projects that they've just started is making some custom awards and items for different events that they have. So we provided you a custom cup with your name and the Escambia County 4-H logo. We certainly want to appreciate your continued support.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Nick,
I figured you'd say something.
Yeah, well, the cups are nice. I mean, I know a big part of 4-H is speaking, though. You got to pick one. We got to pick one that's going to make some comments from the podium. So pick thoughtfully.
Well, get the one, Stephen, but I mean, we probably should disclose this. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the value of this cup, we probably will have an ethics charge.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of perspective, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Priceless has a certain value.
So, Commissioner Berry, why are they going? Commissioner Berry, I know how important 4-H is to you, and it was Navy Federal in the expansion when we first got elected, and you've been very supportive of 4-H, and it's been, quite frankly, something that's very important to you and your district, and I've been happy to support it, and I'm glad to see that you're getting them honored today.
Yeah, it's been a huge, honestly, it's been a huge success, and these,
So, Nick, who handed me my cup? I think the young man right there. You want to say something, man? Because you want to talk? Yeah, come on. You want to say anything? You sure? You gave me my cup. You gave the most important guy up here the cup. I know that's your representative, but you're the man. I can tell.
Thank you.
Because you gave the right guy the right cup.
I just want to say thank y'all so much for supporting us, and I just hope y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all again.
Man after my own heart, Stephen. Very short.
Yeah, Commissioner, this is, it's instances like this is one of the benefits of when you're in office for a little while, you get to see the development of some of these young people. And, you mentioned the 4-H and the Navy Federal, issues in the relocation to Molino and the success that the livestock and agriculture program has had in Molino, since that move. I mean, its growth has been unprecedented, and even in the decades of success that 4-H had in Escambia County, once it moved and it kind of found its feet out in Molino, and it's grown just exponentially. But what I've seen, and I wasn't as familiar when I was young with 4-H and what they taught, but those young people that were middle schoolers and high schoolers 10 or 11 years ago are now, they've finished high school, many have finished college, and they're now engineers and they're professionals, and they are back in our community working and being very successful. And that's what I've had a couple of my interns that were intimately involved in 4-H that are now also in their own professional careers being very successful. It clearly breeds successful young people, and that's what I think that's what these young people that are in attendance tonight will have in store for them in 5, 6, 7 years, whatever that number is for them. It's they've got a lot to look forward to.
Commissioner, thank you for your leadership with that and the ag world and working with forestry and farming. Thank you. I mean, I'm kind of a sports guy, so I don't get there. I mean, I got the Bender kid that's throwing no-hitters. I did Bill Bond. I mean, but I think that's the diversity of this board, that we get the opportunity to help so many young people and to get the ROI of you young people being here. Thank you so much. Thank you for your leadership, the volunteers, and thank you for all you do. We appreciate it. And thank you, young man, for giving me my cup. You're probably going to get a letter from somebody that you don't have to disclose how much it costs, but don't worry about it. You'll be fine. At this time, Commissioner Cole, adopt a proclamation proclaiming the week of October 15th through October 21st, 2023 as Celebrate Babies Week in Escambia County.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know any politician doesn't like babies, so I'm glad I got to do this one. All right. I'll read this for you, ladies, and we'll go forward. Whereas infants and young children thrive within nurturing environments and stable relationships that meet their developmental needs, and whereas those who care for infants and young children are often vulnerable and require support and resources to help them nurture their young ones, and whereas the Florida Associations for Infant Mental Health is comprised of partners from various counties and community agencies that work with infants and families and come together monthly to collaborate on how Florida can help through education, training, professional development, resources, and more. And whereas statewide, the Florida Association for Infant Mental Health actively provides training, advocacy, reflective supervision, endorsements, and holds events to support professionals who serve infants, young children, their families, and all other care providers. And whereas the Florida Association of Infant Mental Health designates the third week of October as Celebrate Babies Week to celebrate infants, young children, their family, and early childhood professions across the state of Florida. And whereas Celebrate Babies Week is also observed to bring awareness of infant mental health and encourage the community to honor and celebrate their lives of infants and those who support them. And whereas through community outreach, local and state social actions, policy awareness efforts, network and fundraising, these infants and young children, their families, and care providers are honored and celebrated in Escambia County and other communities. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Escambia County, Florida hereby proclaim the week of October 15th through the 21st of 2023 as Celebrate Babies Week in Escambia County, Florida, and urges all residents and businesses to recognize and commend the Florida Association for Infant Mental Health and all early childhood professionals for their efforts in various communities to enhance the lives of infants and their families. Board of County Commissioners, Escambia County, Florida. Lumen May, Chairman, District 3, Stephen Berry, Vice Chairman, District 5, Jeff Bergas, District 1, Michael Kohler, District 2, Robert Bender, District 4. One for the babies.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the Board of County Commissioners, specifically Commissioner Kohler, for recognizing this special occasion for Celebrate Babies as we celebrate infants, toddlers, their families, and the professionals who work with them. Every child is a child that matters. Every child deserves a healthy, to be ready to learn and to be able to achieve their full potential. The work is hard, but the reward is great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Commissioner Kohler, if you would just go ahead and do the proclamation honoring Lieutenant Colonel Tim McGarry for his service.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'll read, Tim, Lieutenant Colonel, please stand up. I don't think if most people remember this, but I was 14 years old when this attack happened. I was in 9th grade, and Lieutenant Colonel McGarry was at the site. So it's the 40-year anniversary of that horrific event that killed hundreds of Americans. He's like many of us that decided to make Escambia County our home. And proud to have met you on the campaign trail and become a friend with you, partner. So let me read this, and then we'll go from there. Whereas October 23rd, 2023 marks 40 years for the tragic event that unfolded in Beirut, Lebanon, and the valiant efforts of service members like Lieutenant Colonel, United States Marine Corps retired Tim McGarry to uphold their duties in the most challenging circumstances. An 18-year-old Tim McGarry enlisted in the Marine Corps on his birthday in 1972. And whereas Lieutenant Colonel McGarry would later attend flight school and become a Marine Corps aviator stationed at Marine Corps Station Cherry Point, North Carolina, later in 1983, he was assigned as an air liaison officer at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, or Lejeune, North Carolina. He was deployed to Beirut, Lebanon soon after. And whereas Captain McGarry was returning from morning patrol when the attack began at 6:22 a.m. on October 23rd, 1983. A Mercedes-Benz stake bed truck carrying about 12,000 pounds of high explosives was driven by an Iranian national, detonated at the Beirut airport where most of the 1,600-man Marine contingent in Lebanon was based, demolishing the building, and minutes later, a second truck detonated and destroyed the French multinational force headquarters building. And whereas Captain McGarry's platoon immediately mobilized to rescue their fellow Marines trapped under tons of wreckage in a crater 30 feet deep, 40 feet wide, pumping oxygen into the mountain of rubble to keep those who were still trapped below alive, and while coming under sniper fire from a cluster of houses near the disaster zone. And whereas the first truck bomb detonated at the barracks, killing 220 Marines, 18 sailors, and 3 soldiers, making this incident the deadliest single-day death toll for the United States Marine Corps since the Battle of Iwo Jima in World War II, and the deadliest single-day toll for American Armed Forces since the first day of the teleoffense in the Vietnam War. And whereas the attack killed 307 people, 241 Americans, and 58 French military personnel, and 6 civilians. Another 120 Americans were wounded in the blast. 13 later died of their injuries, and they are counted among the number who died. And whereas President Ronald Reagan later said, some people spend an entire lifetime wondering if they made a difference in the world, but the Marines don't have that problem. Boy, have I heard that a few times. Camp McGray platoon performed life-saving operations that gave the other soldiers a fighting chance. And whereas now retired Lieutenant Colonel Tim McGray and his platoon, as well as the Marines on that day, lived up to their mottos, Semper Fidelis, always faithful, demonstrating the strength and resilience that defined our nation. And now, therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Escambia County, Florida, commend and express our gratitude to Lieutenant Colonel Tim McGray for his lifelong dedication to the defense of our country's freedom on this day of remembrance of the Beirut Barracks bombing, to be observed on October 23rd, 2023. May God bless the United States of America. Board of County Commissioners, Escambia County, Florida, Lumen May, Chairman, District 3, Stephen Berry, Vice Chairman, District 5, Jeff Bergas, District 1, Michael Kohler, District 2, and Robert Bender, District 4. Thank you, sir. You want to say something? Yeah. They'll get it. They'll get a photo. What do you want to do? Do you gentlemen want to come up? Don't be shy. I know Marines aren't usually shy. You don't only have to form it up on you. Come on, Niels. You're a foreman. Get up here. Okay, it's your moment to make some comments.
I'm not. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much on behalf of Marines, and especially remembering. Our first duty always is to remember. When we got back from Beirut, Captain Al Gray, Commanding Officer, 2nd Marine Division, wanted to use all Marine officers from the MAU as casualty officers to assist the families of those that were killed. So instead of using local recruiters, now we're flown all over the country. I had the honor at Camp Lejeune of being the Casualty Assistance Officer Coordinator for Lance Corporal Bobby Bland Buchanan's widow and 8-month-old baby. They had a large ceremony at Camp Lejeune, and President and Mrs. Reagan was there, and I had the privilege and honor of escorting Mrs. Buchanan through the reception line to meet President and Mrs. Reagan. I just had a reflection when I had gotten back from all that and took some time. It's not really a poem, but for memory, because right after Beirut bombing, if you remember, some of you remember, go back in history, 3 days later, Beirut kind of fell in the background because we had the invasion of Grenada for the rescuing of the students, and then Beirut fell behind. So I tried to write this poem, if I could read it, about Beirut and home and the way we thought about things. The Marines that were there, we nicknamed Beirut Hooterville. For some reason, we just called it Hooterville, and the 2 MAUs that were before us called it that. But I wrote it and I called it Beirut and home. For them, it was the 6 p.m. news from Beirut. For us, it was reality. They called for pizza at home. We called for the corpsmen. They watched their children play. We watched the children die each day. They learned of life. We learned of death. They served family dinners. We served our country. Their passions were for success. Ours were survival. They all forgot. We cannot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your service. Adopt proclamation congratulating the Friends of West Florida Public Library, Todd Humble.
I'd like to thank these men for their service and all others that have served to help us and protect us here in the U.S. but we've had people protecting the minds of our youth in our community these past 50 years. Friends of the, Friends of West Florida Public Library have been in existence now 50 years. And over that time, they've raised over $2 million that has been used to help children's programs. Most of the time, it's the summer reading programs. Why did we pay for the dog and ponies and the dancing poodles? The Friends did, and that probably would have never happened if we didn't have this money that they've raised, 25 cents, dollar at a time. Whereas, formed in 1973, the mission of the Friends of West Florida Public Library is to advocate for literacy, learning, expanding and fostering the availability of resources to the West Florida Public Library's audience of Escambia County. Whereas the Friends understands the critical importance of well-funded libraries and help advocate that the West Florida Public Libraries receive the resources they need to provide wide variety of services for all ages. Whereas the Friends highlight the fact that West Florida Public Libraries are the cornerstone of our community, providing opportunities for all to engage the joy of lifelong learning. Whereas the Friends gift of their time, thousands of hours. I don't know if I can go up to hundreds of thousands over the years, I'm sure. Possibly over 1 million. Whereas Friends gifted their time and commitment to Escambia County Public Libraries sets the examples of how volunteerism can lead to positive civic engagement and the betterment of our community. Whereas now 50 years later, the Friends organization continues to advocate and provide financial assistance to build community support by supplying resources for children's programming and special events throughout the year. Whereas in the past 50 years, the Friend has made contributions in excess of $2 million supporting our libraries and communities. Whereas celebrating the 50th anniversary, the Friends of West Florida Public Libraries continues their commitment with a $50,000 donation to West Florida Public Libraries. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Escambia County, Florida urges residents to commend and celebrate the Friends of West Florida Public Library's achievement and thank them for all they do to make our libraries and community better. Board of County Commissioners, Escambia County, Luman J. May, Chairman, District 3, Stephen Berry, Vice Chairman, District 5, Jeff Burgash, District 1, Michael Kohler, District 2, Robert Bender, District 4. This has already been deposited. You can check the books.
No, thanks, Todd. No.
I also want to make sure you guys know there's a gala event coming up on October 20th. So if you have a chance to participate, it is going to be much better than gallery night with live performers. They have donation / silent auction type items, live music, nice meal, a comedian / author. It'd be a nice night. So look for something better than the downtown event on October 20th. Which center is it?
It is at,
Come over here.
it'll be held at the Sanders Beach Community Center. And I'd like to take this opportunity to point out that we are all volunteer organization. We spend over 900 hours per book sale that we have 4 times a year. And it takes 900 hours of volunteer time to pull that book sale off. And the thing they're probably the most proud of, other than all the money that we've raised, is that all of these books are recycled. These are books that people donate to us every Thursday at our warehouse, and they're then put immediately into our bookstores and into our sales. So we're very proud of the life that goes on with these books instead of being ending up in a landfill.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. While they're taking the pictures, the clerk's office received proof of publication for the public hearing on the agenda and the board's weekly meeting schedule.
Mr. Chairman, the clerk's office has received all proofs.
Move to waive the reading.
Have a motion second. Please vote by raising your hand. That passes 5 unanimous. Thank you so much. Clerk and comptroller's report.
Mr. Chairman, real quick. Carl, you've got some stuff coming up. We've talked about it, and Marine Corps, you've got, I know Mike held up about come up to the podium real quick, because I know I've told you to come down so you can spread your words about what you got going on this month.
Well, we thank you so much. The Marine Corps League here in Pensacola has been around a long time. I haven't been around that long, but we are involved with every veteran service. It's just not Marines. I came out of Atlanta and we just did Marine stuff, but here we do everybody's stuff. And so I'm very proud of that. We're very involved with the Navy. As you pointed out, Mike, that you're going to come out to the beach on the 28th of October, and that's going to be wonderful. That's honoring Ryan Blackwell, and he was the Navy young man who basically sacrificed his life. He covered the body of a young lady who survived. He got shot 6 times, and so that his heroism we're acknowledging on the 28th. And that'll be out at the beach, and that'll be a lot of fun, and the after party should be a lot of fun too, because Marines know how to do that. On the 22nd of the month, this 40th year has really resonated with us, and Mike, I thank you, and the board, I thank you for honoring the 220 Marines whose lives were taken. So there's a continuity between that event. On the 22nd, Bob Burge, who served with President Reagan, Bob, raise your hand, please. Bob Burge, he was President Reagan's staff and also 8th and I Marine, which means you're one of the top Marines in the world. And so he's going to honor Corporal Lyon that was killed in Beirut. On the 23rd, I'm going to invite all the commissioners and all of the public to come out to Veterans Memorial Park. There'll be no political speeches. There'll be one speech by a fellow that was a lieutenant here 40 years ago, and I'll get to that in a moment. And so we're going to start right at 5 o'clock. It's going to end right at 6 o'clock. We're going to call out all 241 names. We're going to acknowledge each of those. The person who will be speaking is a Marine who has come on to be a retired colonel in the Marine Corps. His name is Chris Holsworth. Call sign is Caveman. Right? So Caveman, you might know Caveman. He was a MATSIC 21 CO. Anyway, as a lieutenant, I don't know where you in the group were in 1983, October 23rd, 1983 at 6:22 in the morning. Tim experienced this, but 220 Marines and 21 others their lives were snuffed out. So a lieutenant named Chris Holsworth, who is still here, and the reason we have our race is because of Chris Holsworth. And so Chris came into his commanding officer at MATSIC 21, which trains the pilots here, and he said, "Colonel, we have to do something for the children of the deceased Marines." And that's when this legacy race started. So we're not new at this. We are now up to over $700,000 that we've given to the community charities. So this is a charity run. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on October 28th out at the Pensacola Beach. And so thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm surprised I had not planned to speak. So.
No, you're fine. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you, Robert, for bringing him up. Clerk and Comptroller's report.
Sir, in summary, please accept the investment report for August 31st and minutes and reports for September. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair, entertain a motion.
Move the clerk's report.
Second.
You have a motion. Second. Thank you so much. All in favor? Passes unanimous. Thank you. Horace.
Sir, tonight we have the growth management report. We have rezoning case Z 2023-18 from low-density residential to low-density mixed use. The planning board made a recommendation for approval.
We have one speaker, Meredith. I think it was recommended approval. Are you good? Thank you. Chair, entertain a motion.
No other speakers?
No, sir.
All right, I move the item in the affirmative.
We have a motion. Second. Please vote. Passes unanimous. Thank you so much. Horace.
We have 545 is the adoption of the official zoning map for the rezoning case that was previously approved.
We have no speakers.
Move the 545.
So please vote. Passes unanimous. Thank you so much. Harsh?
546, we have the rezoning case Z 2023-19 from medium-density residential to ACLI NA.
We have no speakers.
They made a recommendation for approval.
We have no speakers. Chair, entertain a motion.
I'll move the item in the affirmative.
Second.
Please vote. Pass 5, unanimous. Harsh?
The next is the adoption of the official zoning map for the previous case that just was approved.
We do have one speaker, Buddy Page, I think. Buddy, do you want to speak if it's
So
in the
moved.
pot? We have a motion.
Second.
Please vote. Yes, sir. All right, that passes 5 unanimous.
Now we have the last rezoning case Z 2023-21 from medium-density residential to high-density mixed use. The planning board made a recommendation for approval.
No speaker.
Buddy's on this one, right?
Yeah, Buddy's on this one, but if it's positive, I don't think Buddy cares.
I have a couple questions.
Oh, okay. Buddy? For Buddy or for Harsh?
Well, both, but I want to give Buddy a chance.
Questions or whatever you want, whatever question.
Yeah, Buddy, Commissioner Bender just has a couple
Yeah.
questions. Thank you for being here, Buddy.
So Horace, I know that in the record, we did have some things that came up that we said that were not compatible during the hearing. Can you just talk about those, please?
Yes, sir, if I may, but let me. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was the locational criteria. Because of the medium-density residential currently and the rezoning request of high-density mixed use, and being that all of the uses that come with the mixed-use district on the local street, that's why the staff raised those concerns. Yes, sir.
And so, and then there was also some concern with the right-of-way, saying that more anything beyond a single duplex would require an appropriate two-way commercial driveway and drainage consideration that would not fit within the apparent right-of-way. Is that right?
Yes, sir. If it is approved, we will have to take that into consideration. Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Page, you stated that you thought that the client would only be building 1 or 2 units.
That's all there's room for, Commissioner, that's correct.
Okay, so then why the change? Because if I'm doing my math right on .34 acres, and you're currently allowed 10 units per acre.
How many acres?
I think it's .34, is that right? There, it's a,
Yes.
it's .34 acres.
.34, yes.
Okay, and you're currently allowed 10 units an acre. That would suffice. So
Yes.
why the change?
Why the change?
Yes, sir. If what it's currently zoned for allows what his intended use is, why the change?
Mr. Bender, the staff meeting that we had, we presented everything that the owner of the property who lives right next door to the piece of property, and that's the recommendation that we came back with, and we submitted under those guidelines.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is that if you stated that he only plans to build 1 or 2 and that's all there's room for, and that would currently be allowed under the current zoning, correct?
The reason for, Commissioner, the reason for the rezoning request is because MDR, medium-density residential, it is a single-family zoning category only. So therefore, he already had that, so he wanted more. That's why the request was to get a higher zoning category, so he can put more uses there. Because he was at his max because of the zoning category of medium-density residential. Again, he can bring no more uses there, so that's why he made the rezoning request.
Okay.
What do you want to do, right?
Well, again, I mean, I haven't been able to talk to anybody about this, right? I mean, that's how this works. And so, you know, and then that was my concern, is that we did have some concerns with it. You know, and if it's 1 or 2, then I'm okay. You know, I understand that it's right on the line of where the HDMU is now.
Right.
You know, I know I've walked back through there before, not since this came out, but, you know, it concerned me a little bit. And again, as
Do you want to drop it, move it back, send it back, remand it, or what do you want to do? I mean, I'll support whatever you want to do, Robert.
I understand. I appreciate that. You know, and again, it's, I know that they brought up some concern with the commercial side of it. And of course, you said that's not what we intended, but we also have to think about what could be used there in the future. And I would say that's my concern. So I was just going to offer you a chance to speak.
Well, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Bender, out of the 5 criteria that we're required to comply with, we complied with all of those. Staff recommended, staff agreed, recommended approval of the planning board, and it reached that approval as well. There are some additional things that can be used under that zoning category, but if you look at all of the zoning categories in the county, there are many uses under the category itself that it can be used for. And I heard you say you have to take all those things into consideration, and I understand that. The owner of the property lives adjacent to it. He has 2 other duplexes just on the property line close to this piece here as well. And that's his intent. That's what he does, is rent out small duplex units. I don't know how we could say it any differently than that. That's what he does.
Sure. You know, and I guess just part of my concern is that we have another area that we're dealing with right now where the gentleman lived next door and sort of kind of created a mess for himself when they built more than what he was thinking they would build.
Well, those types of questions come up statewide, and I've been at this a long time, and there have been several communities that tried to narrow down the number of uses that can be under each one of those categories. And their land development code went from probably 200 pages to 500 or 600, as did the zoning code itself. So when you have those categories, there are just a lot of things that are under each one of those that are allowed uses. And I appreciate what you said about you have to be concerned about what ifs.
Right.
But that's the best.
And of course, I can only take it that when we consolidated a little bit, back in 2015, whatever, yeah, that, you know, I'm curious as to know how the area to his east ended up in all HDMU when it doesn't look like it. You know, again, you know, given this area, I am concerned with this and that it meeting the criteria and what would be allowed.
I don't know how we satisfy those concerns. Commissioner, I don't know how we satisfy those concerns. I appreciate what you're saying. But that concern could go for every one of the zoning categories or cases that comes before the board. There's only 5 requirements now as far as the criteria that we have to meet. If the board wanted to do something and add some other language that says, okay, on number 6, we need some additional information such as.
For sure. But Horace, we're saying that they did not meet one of the criteria, though.
Yes.
That was what was presented. I mean, it was presented, and I understand it was presented in the hearing, and you weren't given advance notice.
Yes, sir, the location criteria with the additional uses that can be allowed in low-density mixed use, that was a concern that was raised, which is a valid concern. Yes, sir.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Are you going to remand it back, or you want to table it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would like the planning board to take another look at it again. Yeah.
Is motion to remand it?
Yes, sir.
And please include directions for the planning board so that they know what they're being asked to do.
Commissioner Bender,
The criteria, probably specifically identify the criteria you want to look at.
Yes.
Commissioner Berry is making a motion. Commissioner Berry, will you state the motion?
Oh, I was seconding his
Oh, say,
motion.
Robert, will you please clarify the motion?
Yeah, I remand it back to the board and ask them to search through identify the proper criteria.
Locate.
We have,
Locational criteria.
Location criteria.
I second the motion.
we have a motion second. Please vote. That's 5 in favor, Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Horace. Horace, we need to go back to 540. We need to entertain a motion for
Move
the
to
adopt.
546.
Please,
No, to cancel the five, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, it's canceling the 546?
yeah. Just
Okay,
cancel.
I'm sorry.
Are you good
Move
with
to
that?
cancel the 546.
Are you good with canceling it?
That's what it says on it. That's the
Item number
agenda
3, the 546.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
the
what it
minutes are
says.
correct. We need a motion to cancel and second and vote,
Okay.
please.
Thanks.
Seconds.
All right, it doesn't matter. I'll do whatever you want. The motion is to cancel it, so you're moving the motion in the affirmative. I don't know why you would say I move to cancel it. The motion is an affirmative.
Second, it still stands.
Please vote. 5 in favor. Horace?
So,
Yes,
so the next item, it is to basically to drop the adoption of the official zoning map for the previous case.
So, we have a motion.
Move, drop it.
Move to drop the
Second.
I'm sorry, second drop in the 548.
Yes, sir.
Please vote. 5 in favor. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Then we do have the consent agenda for October the 19th as well as November the 2nd.
Move the consent agenda.
Second.
Please vote. 5 in favor. Thank you. County Administrator?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are 12 items on the technical public service consent agenda. There are no changes, and there are no speakers.
Move the technical public service consent.
Second.
Please raise your hand. Item passes 4-0. Commissioner May, I'm sorry. Item passes 5-0. Wes?
Commissioners, there are 44 items on the budget finance consent agenda. Please make the following changes. Amend CAR 2-38, the recommendation concerning a funding allocation for Gulf Coast Veterans Advocacy Council to add $1,000 from Commissioner May's discretionary fund. Hold CAR 2-8, the recommendation concerning the issuance of purchase orders in excess of $50,000 for the Natural Resources Management. And CAR 2-35, the recommendation concerning the issuance of purchase orders in excess of $50,000 for engineering for Commissioner Berry to abstain. There are no speakers.
Thank you.
Move the balance.
We have a motion. And second for the balance. Please vote. That passes 5 in favor, and we'll take number 8 and 37, Wes.
8 and 30, I move 8 and 35 in the affirmative.
We have 8 and 35.
Second.
Commissioner Berry?
Thank you. Before the vote, I, Stephen Barrett, hereby disclose on October 5, 2023, a measure came before my agency which inured to the special gain or loss of Ryan Shavers, by whom I am retained. The measure before my agency and the nature of my conflicting interest in the measure is as follows. Escambia County Board of County Commissioners meeting October 5, 2023. County Administrator's Report, item card 2-8. Recommendation concerning the issuance of purchase orders in excess of $50,000 for Natural Resource Management Department. Presents a conflict of interest pursuant to statute 112.3143, Florida statutes, or the appearance of a conflict of interest pursuant to statute 286.012, Florida statutes, because Ryan Shavers, principal of Shavers Construction, is my client.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion for those 2 items.
We have it in a second.
Oh, okay, please vote. We're taking both of them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, can we just take both of them? Hold on, let's just take both of them.
All right. Card 2-35, I, Stephen Barry, hereby disclose on October 5, 2023, a measure came before my agency which inured to the special gain or loss of Ryan Shavers, by whom I am retained. The measure before my agency and the nature of my conflicting interest in the measure is as follows. Escambia County Board of County Commissioners meeting October 5, 2023, County Administrator's Report, item card 2-35, recommendation concerning the issuance of fiscal year 2023-2024 purchase orders in excess of $50,000 for the engineering department. Presents a conflict of interest pursuant to statute 112.3143 Florida statutes, where the appearance of a conflict of interest pursuant to statute 286.012 Florida statutes, because Ron Shavers, principal of Shavers Construction, is my client.
Thank you. Motion still stands, Commissioner? All right, please vote. 4 in favor, 1 abstain. Commissioner Berry abstained from this. Thank you so much. Is that it, Wes?
We have CAR 3, the discussion items. CAR 3-1 is a discussion concerning funding for Northwest Florida Defense Partners.
Chair, entertain a motion.
Just to recap on the board that asked me to reach out to Santa Rosa, I did hear from Colton, and they look to be moving forward with the $50,000, and they have a funding source, and if they have potentially multiple funding sources for that. So
Is that, so,
Is that a motion?
would you like to make
So
a
I
motion,
would-
Commissioner?
I would move to fund the Northwest Florida Defense Partners at $75,000.
Okay. We have a motion.
Second.
Discussion, Commissioner Kohler.
Yeah, the only thing I want to put on the record on this is, I appreciate what you mentioned this morning, Commissioner Barry, but I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not on this. I know you guys haven't seen your objectives or your goals, but with what happened this week and what's going on with the base, I definitely think the Panhandle could be on a defense appropriation diet potentially.
You think?
I think it could.
Yeah, I know. I
And so I
think you
think it's
are.
going to be all hands on deck to try to get some allies. And from when I'm talking to some of the folks, and I think you have on different times, Robert, I'm not sure this is going to be enough to, it's a kickstart, but I'm just not sure it's going to be enough to what we really actually need. And so I'm going to vote for the 75,000, but I definitely don't think it's enough for what we need to do to try to maintain the base when there's 7 bases in 7 counties, or 7 bases in the Panhandle here.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Mike, and of course, that's why it was initially 125, and I think they just want to look at being realistic in the first year, and they want to, of course, we're looking to get some support from the city, and also try to get members and sponsorships to do it as well. And so I'd say this is a start, and we'll see where we get this year, and hopefully we do great work that would require more in the future. But, we actually had a call with some of them today, and, we're ready to work it, get some things that were taken out of a budget put back in, and see what we can do. But, yeah, but I appreciate it.
And Commissioner Kohler, I agree. I mean, I'm optimistic about it, but I will say that our base closures could be on life support. You quite frankly, whether it's 125, 225, or 525, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the climate that Washington is right now. So you're absolutely right. I mean, so 75, 125, I mean, I'm going to support Commissioner Bender because this is what he wants to do. I certainly don't know the impact that it's going to have, on making a difference. And so if we yield good results, then, I'll be all in. But certainly, things happen, this week that none of us would ever anticipate it. And I think there probably will be some repercussions as it probably adversely affects our bases in the circuit. So we have a motion and a second. Please vote. Thank you, and I see the deputy mayor's here. So Mayor, we gave 75, so I'm sure that you guys are going to give us some more money. So thanks, Alex. Wes?
3.2 is concerning the Escambia County's legislative priorities. I think y'all had a discussion this morning. I think it was a mention of bringing these priorities to the next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Yeah, Mr. Administrator, maybe, during yours and Madam Attorney's interactions with the board, y'all start to kind of draft what those might be, and maybe if y'all bring us a draft, then we can finalize them in 2 weeks.
Sure, we'd be happy to.
Absolutely. We move. What's the motion, Commissioner Barry? No action? All right, no action. Thank you. Anything else, Administrator? All right. We're going to county attorney, but before that, I see Alex is here. Alex, I want to personally thank you and Quint Studer and Troy Rafferty and Mayor Reeves. The largest African-American event is the Soul Bowl that's happening not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and there were hiccups, and Alex, you personally stepped in to make sure that the event would be successful and young inner-city children would have the opportunity to enjoy downtown. So I want to personally thank you and Karis Fittler and Mayor D.C. Reeves for your leadership in making sure that happens. I mean, it's an event for at least 4,000 to 5,000 young people, particularly minorities, that get an opportunity to come downtown. So, Alex, I appreciate you stepping up and showing leadership. We appreciate it. Thank you. Madam Administrator?
There
Madam Attorney, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, well, she could be. I mean, well, and
there's one item with an A and a B. I'm recommending a yes on A and a no on B.
Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to accept the Madam Attorney's request.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please vote. 5 in favor. Commissioner Berry, I apologize. I was really trying to get us out here within an hour. I failed. I mean, maybe I have one more meeting and that I can accomplish.
Don't keep score, buddy.
Yeah,
You've had a good year, so.
I'm trying. I'm trying, Jeff. I'm trying to get to that 45 minutes, man. I thought it would be tonight, but unfortunately, Alex showed up and I failed once again. But oftentimes we do fail. But with that being said, we did not go 2 hours. We stand adjourned.